Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. Tonight we have week 3 of the Summer Duckling Derby. I am Dead Pulse. I am joined in the booth by Saracen, my fellow Midwesterner. How's it going?
Oh, great. I am happy to be here doing comms for Entrance and Floor Shuffle, one of my favorite modes of the randomizer, and subjecting our ducks to the craziness that comes with that.
So what I kind of like about this flag set, and I don't remember if I was mentioning it before, but the first two races, those were kind of, I would say, middle of the road difficulty, whereas this race, it increases one level of difficulty, like basically remembering where everything is. However, in my experience, it seems that it's a little easier than the other two. As far as time goes, I would not be surprised if one of the ducks finished this sub 115.
Yeah, and from the practice seeds that I've done and the races that we've seen on this flag set, just leading up to the Derby today, we've seen a lot of really competitive times. Some sub hours from veteran runners who have done seeds, some ducks getting very close to sub hour. This could be real interesting, and a lot of that is riding on the fact that the scaling itself isn't that bad, including the encounter rates. The encounter rates in the overworld being at 0.4 and the dungeons being 0.5 really speeds up the seeds a lot. You're not running from as much, and you're not taking as many encounters.
So what I see on the screen, we have 3 racers that have gone with Fighter Rainbow, my favorite. But it looks like at the bottom right we have Dust Plume, and they have gone Fighter, Black Belt, White Mage, Black Mage. What do you think about this?
So, Dusk Plume is taking the flex option, which is, I think, it's safe, but at the same time, it has potential time loss. As you're deciding what you're going for, the commitment into the Fighter Rainbow for the rest of the runners on stream, that's, I would say, a very safe composition that relies on getting the things that you were planning to get anyway. We haven't incentivized Masa. That fighter's going to be swinging something as long as they go through the entire seed. So, I don't dislike any comp that comes in here. I've been saying to people, hey, you could bring Thieves in here as your melee carry because the scaling on the boss stats is so low and that sort of thing. Fighter Rainbow is a very safe composition. It's pretty much the safest you're going to get. And, I don't hate having a swap out option either.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we take a look at the magic. We did have Heal 3 in slot 1 of White, so that's red learnable, as well as Promotion Fighter. In Black Magic, we had Zap and Temper. And in the armor shop, I saw a Chain +3.
Ooh.
Those are some amazing items right away. I mean, I could... Zap is a good enough sweeper to get you to level 2. To the level 2 magic. Oh, so, Scimitar +5.
I'm going to just toss out here, one of my favorite things about Entrance and Floor Shuffle is what we're seeing right now in Canaria Castle. I love taking a couple cheeky levels right out the gate in one of these Mirage floors or, a Sky floor if we find those. And Zap is pretty good for that. This pack of Catman and Saber that Budgemano is getting bodied by, they're pretty susceptible to Zap. And you get a lot of levels off that.
So as we're going, we should talk about the blurses. I did not get a chance to look at them, but maybe you did, Saracen.
Sure. So we'll just go over the ones that count here. So the fighters start with +20 strength, +20 vitality, and -10 MDef. So 3 1/3 levels worth of MDef down, but that 20 vitality is going to make them absolutely beefy by level 15. The black belt has +10 luck, level 1 black spells, and -10 strength, so they'll have access to that temper and zap. The red mage has +40 agility, +30 hit points, -10% hit. So putting them up front to avoid ambushes, get more first strikes would be great. With the added hit points being your buffer. White mage has +15 agility, +5 luck, -15 strength, so pretty much awesome. They'll run a little bit better, and you weren't going to swing with them anyway. The black mage has +40 hit points, level 1 white spells, and -15 vitality. That's a danger black mage.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But it looks like wolves have cremate And we did find Temple of Fiends. I think that was at Matoya's, Vanilla Matoya location. I did see that we have Ice 3 and Fast at level 2 Black Magic. That's real nice.
Yeah, the level 2 magic is, I would say, quite helpful. It's nice having an actual damage sweeper, and Ice 3, especially, again, going back to my love for that Mirage floor, Ice 3 is a pretty decent sweeper for that, too.
Ice 3, one of my favorite spells, has the highest max damage possible at 420.
Nice. You see, the downside, though, is that I think Jet put it that if you don't know what it's weak to, you don't use ice, because so many things seem to resist ice in this game. The weakness doesn't come up terribly often, but the things that it does come up on, boy, it's real good against waters, for example.
So we have a little divergence between our forerunners, but not too much. I don't think until we see the floater we're going to see that much separation.
I started very recently trying out something that I saw Gregory Puff doing, which is before heading to Provoca, taking a walk over to the Dwarf Cave and seeing what that entrance holds. And that can be a bit of interesting route divergence, because the knowledge gained there can be pretty significant. Now, the downside is you're not going to have those second-level spells, and, well, Zap is not terribly consistent. So it's a rough play to take that. But, you could get some very important knowledge, and maybe you end up getting something good out of that.
I also tried to copy Gregory Puff in winning the spring tournament. Unfortunately, I was unsuccessful. So the white magic in level 2 I didn't comment on before. It had Ruse and Cure 4. So these fighters and red mages are going to be just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I might actually consider Canoe off of Bicky. That's a big find. I would be considering potentially removing that white mage earlier than otherwise would be thought, because Cure 4 and Heal 3 are pretty solid. Now we're waiting for your life spell that the red mage can learn, right? Yeah. We'll see if Elflight provides. And exit is a very important spell in this flag set.
Well, Blinken, you missed it. It looks like the Kraken floor is in Dwarves Vanilla location, and you don't have to dive, so it's just right there.
That's some pretty important knowledge. It's nice to sort of just say this entrance is going to be for later.
Especially since you have to come back because we've already seen Temple of Fiends, so it's right in the same vicinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd definitely be saving that for a later check. And it's not really a big time save to see it now, but to know that that's not a thing that you're going to chase down an item out of is real handy. Budgemano finding Titan's West at Matoya's Cave. So this is the potential of a Titan's Wormhole. One of my favorite aberrations within the entrance and floor shuffle options, where sometimes you need the ruby to progress to a location that you cannot otherwise access until you have the floater. It's not super common, but when it happens, it's kind of magical.
We see both Budgemona and Ghost Pirate doping out at Kraken as well. Do not blame. I mean, the Scimitar +5 is good enough to be an endgame weapon, but I just don't know. We get the canal from the king, and Princess Sarah is going to give us the floater. Oh my.
Did you just see what I saw? That Goats just sort of walked right on by?
Oh, no.
Didn't stop in?
No.
I think he thought it was Elf Castle. Which that's a real problematic thing to see. Now, downside, and this is a problem for even very experienced runners. Oh wow, Goat's Pirate finding the Bridge of Destiny in that marsh check. So when you find the floater early in entrance and floor shuffle, you kind of get location overload. And while it's easy to keep track of where you're going, where you've been in a more standard flag set, entrance and floor shuffle requires a lot more mentally than a lot of the other flag sets, especially if you have some extra fun options turned on. But this is an easier one. This one's not so bad. But even so, once you have the floater and the canoe, you have an enormous world open to you, and that's dangerous. So,
Absolutely.
I'm expecting to see some potential problems with this.
Well, Budgemoto getting in the air 8 minutes 50 seconds. Velik is falling prey to taking the out route. I guess getting the canoe and going, you know what? I'm going to head down to the Crescent Lake area, unknowing that, the floater is right over on the other side.
And we see now that the Titan's wormhole will not be happening today, as Ice Cave was the east side. Duskplume taking a pop grind. How do you feel about that?
I'm not a fan of pop grinds, but if you can find something very nice that is going to fall to your zap, then, it could be worth it.
So, good news, bad news. Good news, bad news for Velik. Velik just found the ship in Volcano from Sarda. So, good news, found an incentive item that it's, I think, 10% experience and gold bonus in this flag set, which is, that's nice. However, the canal is adjacent to the floater, and that's going to be a real feels bad moment.
Getting the ship is actually probably one of the best things that could have happened, because as soon as you get the ship, which is going to be at Elfland, the next place you're going to go is going to be Northwest Castle. So hopefully the time loss won't be too bad, as long as there isn't like a super deep dungeon at Elfland Castle.
I did not see what was at Elfland Castle specifically, but I did see that Budgemoto just noped right out of it when he was there.
Things of note, exactly what we were talking about at level 4 White Magic. We have Life 2 in slot 1, and we have Exit at slot 4. So the Red Wizard will be able to learn Exit, but the Red Mage can learn Life 2.
That is definitely a reason to keep the White Mage around for now. But, plus side, alright, so this is all sharing slots with Fire 3. And Fire 3 is a very worthwhile spell to pick up from, the selection that's out there right now. So you kind of want to keep at least one slot open on the Red Mage to cast Life 2 in case that White Mage goes down, or if the White Mage goes down on purpose, so that the White Mage can then cast Exit. You still need to pick up the levels on the White Mage to do that, but, at least it's not super high. It's level 8?
Yep, level 8 will give you one cast of the level 4 magics.
Yeah, I'd be...
Go ahead.
I'd be putting that White Mage down as soon as it hit level 8, and you just pick it up to cast Exit when I need it.
Well, you're cruel. I'd be getting rid of the other two. As soon as I found Fade, I'd be getting rid of the other two and grinding a Fighter White Mage combo.
That seems masochistic. I'm just going to leave that there. Looks like a Zeus Gauntlet and some cash coming out of this Cardia Island at Melmond Continent check.
Another thing of note, we saw level 6 Black Magic. It did have Nuke. Well, what I find interesting, it's been 4 minutes, and Budgemono has had the airship this entire time, and none of the other runners on screen have had it. They have all gone kind of different routes for it. Another thing, what do you think of the fact that we already know where 2 of the fiends are, and they are relatively close to the entrance?
Honestly, it makes me worry about that location overload again. Because, when you've got very short dives to a fiend, and especially when we're talking about, Tia 2 and Kraken, or Tia and Kraken, rather, it's not like you're just going to clear those locations, right? You're going to go there specifically. Budgemono finding promotion at Bahamut here, that is quite the big deal.
It's nice to find that early, if only we had any equipment that we could make use of that. I mean, the spell charges themselves for the Red Wizard are going to be nice.
The other thing to keep in mind with this flag set is that the Black Belt is at +3 MDef per level instead of +4, and the Master goes up to +4 instead of the normal +1. So even the Black Belt wants that promotion.
Nothing too great in level 5 for White Magic. We have Lit 3 and Bane for Black Magic.
Oh no, promotion locked Lit 3. Whatever shall Budgemono do?
I love Lit 3.
It's my favorite damage sweeper by far. Okay, so Budgemono now flying around, and we still are not in a position where we have anybody else in the air, huh? Goat's Pirate making the check over to the Sages to get the key.
Velik has been trying to get down to this waterfall for quite some time. There's some nasty things in here.
Always. Getting womp womp. The Ruby of Disappointment.
Apparently Warp is also level 6 Black Magic, slot 3, so... So, I mean, Exit's probably going to be our jam.
Yeah. Exit is super important all the time. And so just to give you an idea, I was in a race earlier today where a required dive was 10 floors deep. You ain't warping out of that. Not in this seed. And Exit and Warp were level 7 and level 8 respectively in that race. It was horrid. But, Exit at level 4 is acceptable, we'll say.
Ooh, Velik finding some nightmares. That's going to be great with that Ice 3. If this was off the hard reset, this is not a bad fight to take for a little bit just to get some more levels.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially when you can just go and recharge your spell slots right at the Elfland Inn.
Gold +5 bracelets are available at Elfland. I didn't see the price before, but it looks like they're about 24 grand. That is what we like to call in the business gross.
So, yes, but at least they exist, right? It's better the plus than the minus. All right. Velik is headed up into Northwest. Goat's Pirate, canoeing around, has completely forgotten Northwest Castle. Thinks it's Elf Castle. Has to.
The other option would be to make your way over to the area where the floater is, because if you get it out of one of those 3 locations, it'll just be faster to turn it in.
Budgemono with a gutsy looking play here. I don't know that it is going to pay off.
Were those red Hydras?
They were.
That, with Ice 3, At level 2, that is an amazing amount of experience.
I love fire hydrants. They're great. Instead, we're going to go check the Cardia entrances. 2 of these entrances are dead ends that do not shuffle. But here we get your favorite dungeon, Ordeals.
I was telling you the other day, I love this flag set because you get to go to Ordeals twice. Yes, I've got a good feeling about this Ordeals. We're going to find something good.
I think, at the very least, we're going to find some experience, which is always good. The experience within Ordeals is pretty fantastic.
Honestly, based on what I've seen, when you get... It's a good thing to know, when you don't have access to Nuke early, you only have something like one of the elemental spells, either fire, lightning, or ice, to pick which locations you go into to try to do a mini grind. So, for example, we had the Waterfall, which off the hard reset was probably the Nightmares, and those are weak to ice. And then we had the Bridge of Destiny, which has is known for having 4 packs of red hydras, fire hydrants, if you will. They're weak to ice, and they give a boatload of experience. I could see spending 3 minutes and getting up to level 18 just on either of those fights.
I agree, and I am a huge proponent of getting those early levels to make the rest of the everything easy. Ooh, Chimera Tile, but they cast Mute. That looked juicy right up until the Mute part.
Womp womp.
Because Ice 3 is pretty good against them. They also cast Sleep.
Oh, nighty night.
That is regrettable. Ooh, wow. Budgetmono really needs to take a couple fights somewhere. Oh, no, just get some money out of a chest, and then pick up some heal pots. He's only got 2.
Heal pots are a crutch.
I mean, they kind of are in this particular run, with Heal 3 and Cure 4 being so accessible.
Yeah.
White Shirt out of Ordeals.
Something nice. But yeah, when you literally have all of your characters that can cast Heal 3, I can see not wanting to get any heal potions. Bottle was found inside of Ordeals. I'm sure that's going to be something great.
You know, the thing that I like about the bottle is that it is a turn-in where you know where the location is. It's not a crystal where you have to find Matoya. It's just there. It's an excuse to stop in Gaia for the one time you're going to stop in Gaia. You know, get it out of the way early. We haven't seen
the shop item yet, have we?
We have not.
But houses were super cheap, 636 gold apiece. I do know that.
I love the 1950s housing market. It's nice to see that making a comeback in any seed.
So I didn't see where Velik went to, but found the Sea Shrine split.
Looks cave-like.
Cave-like or cave-light?
Budgetmono, meanwhile, finding Marsh Bottom, which is incentivized. Only 2 floors down. So we'll get to see a spike tile and an incentive chest, because all of the chests in this flag set, very mercifully by the flag crafters for our Duckling Derby, all of the incentive locations are their vanilla chests. Pyro spike tile.
We'll see how much life it rolls. I don't care for this one specifically. It's not going to be weak to any magic. We don't have we have the Scimitar, but that was 2 hits for 81 damage. That Tyro could roll up to somewhere about around 1 million health.
Fair. Velik finding Sky 2, which is incentivized. Finding some Gurmedusas, which are always tasty.
Welcome, SpeedGaming, to SpeedGaming 3, where we have Week 3 of the Duckling Derby Final Fantasy Randomizer.
Velik finding our loot, and Budgemano, meanwhile, checking out Bahamut's cave and finding Lich. We are now up to 3 Fiends of Knowledge.
So Budgemano has the key, doesn't have the float, or the loot yet. That was on Velik's screen.
Mm-hmm.
All we in the broadcast booth are missing is Carrie.
Which could be just down this hole that Velik is in.
So here's my concern right now. We've seen a decent amount of locations, but we haven't seen a decent amount of floors. So I think the rest of the areas are going to be disproportionate to, they could be 5, 10 deep.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrifying to me.
And that's exactly what I was saying about that race I had earlier today, where there was a 10-floor deep Matoya turn-in, and it was required. Now, I think the nice thing, again, is the scaling here isn't terrible. Like, the monster stats are not that high, the encounter rates are not that high. Our ducks are not going to have that many problems getting through.
Take a look at what's going on the screen. Sorry for interrupting, but we have a Lich fight, and we have a Tiamat fight.
What? We get Brax getting thrown out?
Oh, if Dangwu was out there, he'd be so proud. But I'm hoping that that Budgemono tries to zap Lich. And it does not look like Duskbloom succeeded, but it was, it was a good effort.
I appreciate the effort. We see Goats Pirate having the moment where you hear the Jeopardy theme. This is a real common experience in Entrance and Floor. I've been here. And really, the answer is you just have to go to locations. It's sitting here doesn't progress you. So, again, it's just recognizing that Northwest Castle was not a worthless location. It was not Elf Castle, where we don't have the herb yet. That was Canaria Castle, and that's a big deal.
Budgemano lighting our first orb, 25 minutes, 27 seconds. But you're absolutely right. Like, it's happened to me multiple times where I brain locked a location and I sat there going, where do I go now?
And Ghost Pirate is making the play. And Perfect. Is probably screaming at his screen.
Well, I think it's fine. Ghost Pirate has cleared out all of the inner sea areas. So once he gets the floater, he's off to the races. I do not count him out yet.
I don't count him out, but it's just... So, Entrance and Floor Shuffle is a magical and mysterious beast where all things are possible, right? And sometimes the knowledge you gain by having done all of your inner sea stuff all at once and being able to just check it all off, right? Because there's a big part of Entrance and Floor is clearing the mental checklist. These locations are dead. I'm no longer going here. It's no longer in the calculus. Maybe that's a good thing, right? But at the same time, he knows he walked past it, and that's a pain point.
At this point, you got to pick yourself up and just say, you know what, that stinks, but let's work to win this thing. Velik clearing out that Sky 3 location and finding a Dragon Armor +5.
Whoa!
And already promoted, so why not, I say to myself.
Absolutely. We see Duskbloom in the bottom right taking one of my favorite encounters in the entire game. The Big Eye Gershark pack. That Big Eye is worth a lot of experience.
And they have pillow hands a lot of the time.
Oh, absolutely. So I did see that the C-Split is this Cardia Grass location. So that's where Velik had been just a bit ago.
We still haven't seen the marsh split, and honestly, we've seen almost every location now. As far as vanilla locations go, I think we still have we haven't found Oxia yet, if I'm correct. So we haven't seen Onrak, we haven't done the waterfall, we haven't done vanilla ordeals or Mirage.
Chime. Yep. Chime check. But we don't have the chime yet, so. We see Velik and Goat's Pirate both in ordeals. Goat's Pirate with the promoted sprites now has an upside-down knight, which is pretty awesome. He went from having a dinosaur head, though, which is it seems like a trade down.
Dancing on the ceiling is forbidden.
Goat's Pirate had something nasty come at him, and he just noped right on out.
Oh, look at this play. Going to check and see if the shop item is there. What an awesome play.
Heck yeah.
It didn't pay off, but now we have the knowledge that no shop item there. So it's going to be in either Onrak or Gaia.
Yep, and I don't think that Budgemano has turned in the bottle yet, so we don't know what the shop status is in Gaia.
I feel like Budgemano has had a lot of single and dual fighter fights. I don't know if he was specifically targeting them, or if it was just by happenstance.
It would be some lovely happenstance if they rolled down. Fighters notorious for being very evasive, very high absorb, and pretty magic resistant. So if they also get hit points on top of that, it's less fun.
Another thing I'm worried about is there's still a lot of those fetch quests available.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if Oxiel or the Chime are going to be required in this scene. That's what would terrify me at this point. We still haven't found an acceptable weapon for endgame. And yes, I say that you have the Scimitar +5. You can pump that up enough and the crit rate will be good enough to do what you need it to do. But there's an incentive massa out there somewhere, and I don't want to have to go to 6 extra locations to get it.
So if I am in go mode and I think I have an okay enough weapon, because I mean they've got like a Dragon +3 as well or something like that. But you know, we have the key in the loot as long as Carry isn't locked behind the Oxyale or you know some other turn-in. Like it could be Rod Lock, it could be Cube Lock, you know, that sort of thing. And suddenly now we're looking at an additional item that we need. But you know, theoretically this could be go mode already.
Well, I mean, the Bane 2 sword. I love the Bane sword, but it has delusions of adequacy.
I 100% agree. That was a Vorpal +5. We got our weapon.
I don't believe you. I didn't see it.
Now you do. It's on Budgemano's screen, and he just equipped it.
That could be anything. There's no L. It's a Vorpa. I don't know what a Vorpa is or what its crit rate is.
I think that is a small scooter that, you know, you can use.
I'll use my Vorpa on my Vespa. But no, you were absolutely right. Vorpal +5, I find that if I already have, you know, there's an Iron +3 armor floating around and the Dragon +5, if I have that, yeah, I don't have any ribbons, but I think I'm done opening chests.
Yeah, pretty much. Following your normal advice of 3 seconds a chest, right? There are some chest dense locations we haven't found yet. And I would be tempted to go to them for the sake of a ribbon. Or an Aegis shield, if one happens to be around.
With that Vorpal +5, I don't think that the Fiends are going to be around long enough to, you know, cast anything, let alone breathe on me. But Goat's Pirate taking on Lich, going to be the second runner on stream to light an orb, maybe? Budgemano has found Sea Shrine, which I believe is incentivized.
Okay, Budgemano, be the hero that we deserve. Yes! Bubbles has been carbonated. The seed is valid.
It still makes me feel bad, because when you talk to her, she asks you, "Are we going to turn to bubbles?" and then does. You caused that.
Just wait until Goats Pirate gets there. Goats Pirate is a true fan of the meme.
Coral Sword +4. If we didn't have that Vorpal, that would be an okay-ish weapon.
Yep.
So even though Budgemono has had the bottle for several years, Velik decided that we're going there first and finds the crown.
Okay, I think Velik knows where the crown turn-in is. We find the crystal in the mermaids, and I believe that Budgemono literally just left Matoya's because that's where he got the Vorpal.
It's nice that those locations are a little close, but it's still... Ooh, a T-Rex. I'm distracted by shiny thing. But this is still the fear that I was talking about. We're going to have 2 long fetch chain quests, and we don't know if they're going to even be required. And that just sucks up a ridiculous amount of time.
Yeah, that is the challenge, right? And really, I don't know that I would necessarily go to turn in a thing if I didn't have a location, or if I had locations open to check still, right? Like, I would want to know that I have a reason to do something.
It's 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other, because let's say that Astos had the herb, he didn't, but let's say that he did. And the next location you check is turning in the herb. That's a feels bad if you didn't just go turn it in.
Alright, Onrak is confirmed to have our shop item. Gaia did not have it. It had all of the budget consumables you could ever want, because they all rolled very friendly pricing.
So right now, kind of taking a look at this, we have Wall that was at level 6. Everybody's got a white mage, and you need to be, what was that, level 16, I believe, to cast level 6 magic, and you'll get 3 charges at level 19. And I bet you that your white mage is going to have that. There is an incentive ribbon somewhere out there. So you could put that on the white mage. Every fiend fight, cast Wall on your fighter, and just call it good.
Velik turning in at the dwarves, the adamant appears to have turned into an oxyale and a slab coming out of the TNT. I don't like that slab. I don't like it.
I am impressed at how far along everybody is at the 35-minute mark.
Oh, 100%. These runners are doing great.
It's weird. Like, you blink, the amount of key items that have been found in the past 5 minutes have probably been the same as, the previous 30 minutes.
That is how this goes sometimes. Velik making the first walk over to the Onrak continent, checking out Waterfall entrance first.
Oh, and finding a delicious fight.
Mm-hmm. And even having a nuke charge for it. That Furgator just glanced.
I would rather it glance, honestly, than bite me.
Fair.
Those jaws are something fierce, I'll tell you what.
Velik going with the gutsy play of not saving outside of the waterfall, just relying on these the river system split between Waterfall and Onrak for the location.
So at this point, I'd like to get a level check on everybody. As Budgemono turning in the crystal, and it turns into the rod. I don't think we've seen the rod location, have we?
Not to my knowledge, which is scary. I actually am concerned that it is somewhere on the Onrak continent.
I'm concerned that it's 6 levels down, and it's going to have carry behind it.
100%.
If you wanted the seed to last another 40 minutes, that's how you do it.
Pretty much. And I think a number of the practice seeds that our ducks have been doing over the course of the last week have resulted in let's say, unfortunate locations for certain things. 40-minute loot hunts and that sort of thing. Now, the loot hunt feels worse in some regards, but at least you know you need it. Finding a rod when you already have the key in the loot, it's suspicious, right? And Carrie's floor is incentivized, by the way. So, like, keep that in mind, too. Like, the logic could do something squishy with that. And that's a concern. But that also means that it's not likely that it's locked terribly deep, because unless it's that masa or the ribbon, which it could be something that's logically required to progress elsewhere.
Well, I think we're still missing the cube as well as the chime. So probably the chime, if I had to guess, would be guarded by Carrie. Or not guarded, but on the same floor. As we were talking, Dust Plume, getting the good news that, hey, Vorpal plus 5 is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Velik equipping the Thor Hammer plus 5 on that White Mage. Oh my goodness.
That's a Thor Hammer that might actually crit once in a while.
Doubtful. The Thor Hammer has a crit of 1, doubled to 2. And then, plus 15. So 8%, maybe 8.5%.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Okay. That's exactly right. Is that an Opal plus 5 bracelet?
It was an Opal. Oh, wow. I could have sworn this was a Danny seed.
Danny coming back refreshed with a new outlook on how she rolls seeds.
No. That just means it's the long con. We're gonna see something truly disgusting.
It's gonna drop, and it's gonna be Tiamat 2 rolling max health, nuke, and nuclear.
I think there's going to be an ambush nuke encounter on one of the floors now. And if I'm going to guess at this point, because of the floors we have seen and the encounters that have been there, it's going to be on Carry 2's floor.
I think it's going to be Marsh Split. Chime being the shop item.
That's an item, all right. So that opens up a location, but who knows what's behind it? It could even be a Carry.
Yeah, this gets super interesting because Budgermono has the Chime, going to go check that out, but Velik has the Oxyale and is checking that out. So we see a delicious little divergence.
So Velik walking out when an exit would have done. Because the bottom of, I think that's Waterfall, based on the background. The bottom of Waterfall was just another one of the Cardia Island loot rooms. So, not great, but, something.
Oh, I don't like Apaga Withers. Anywho, I saw Ghost Pirate, so going back to my level check, I saw Ghost Pirate was at about level 15. I'll have to keep my eye out for the others.
Okay, Budgermono has found a volcano floor.
Sometimes, it's close enough.
Mm-hmm. To the rod lock, and has the rod.
This is obviously going to turn into cube lock.
Right?
I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy.
Spoiler alert, that race I had earlier today, 100% happened. But it was cube lock to rod lock.
Oh, womp womp.
No, actually, no, it was rod lock to cube lock because I got the rod and then was very disappointed when I had to walk my way all the way back out.
Velik finding the ice floor, or the ice cave, gonna see, and it's the cube. This is what I was afraid of. So if this is the cube, and Budgermono runs into the cube block, this means literally every location is gonna be required.
Oh, that's nasty.
I don't think we've seen Marsh Split, so I'm pretty sure Marsh Split is going to be here in Sky, or Mirage Tower.
Oh, that. So, all right. Here's the question then. What if we get a situation where we find the Mars split, and then Q block is, say, to the north, and Carry is to the south, and we just don't care?
That's true. That is something that could happen. And I think Budgemano would really like that.
That would be the best news for Budgemano.
While we were deciding that, we're going to take a look at greater than less than. I don't hate this play because we've opened a decent amount of chests and we still need a ribbon.
We're getting some gold and some gold, some robots.
What a delicious fight. I would take 5 guards with my Lit 3 any day.
Lit 3 or even nuke charges. I mean, Lit 3 obviously preferable because it's cheaper in some regards.
Yeah, I've got a Thor hammer and a pocket full of dreams.
We're finding a whole lot of nothing in greater than less than. It is definitely less than.
Where are these ribbons at? Xscale plus 3 up in the mini armory in Earth B4.
Lich's armory paying out. Now, does Velik check Lich's bedroom? As we see Budgemano in the Volcano Armory. No, Velik does not check Lich's bedroom, which is fine. It's only 3 chests. That's a pain to walk through. The bats always troll me into walking into one of the spike tiles. Every time.
This is the kind of situation that I don't like. Oh, defense sword plus 5. Really? We're going to keep... And a power block? Okay. I was just going to say, I hate being in this position of, okay, I'm really deep into the game. I'm 45 minutes in. I basically know where 3 Fiend locations are. That's all I'm missing is the 1 Fiend. Do I spend the 2.5 minutes to go and clear out Armory? And a lot of times I default to no because I don't really need anything else. I've got my endgame gear. But this seems to be paying off in spades.
Absolutely. This play was very big. If there were any concerns about the fighter being able to do damage in the Temple of Fiends Revisited, or even just getting through, if we have to man mode, right? Because it's a big if. That fighter or that knight is actually capable of it now. It's got the ability to learn Cure 4, the ability to learn Heal 3, so it can heal itself. It has a defense sword to make it basically stand up to any of the fiends. And it had that giant vitality blessing. It's going to have the hit points to survive the nukes and the nuclears.
Alright, so on the levels, look like Dust Plume, level 19. Velik going for Lich, looks like about level 21. I have not seen Budgemano's levels yet, but I can't even base up
just
anything.
hit 17. Budgemano just hit 17.
So we're all about the same area. Velik having a little bit of an advantage in this.
This is that 10-floor dive you were terrified of, and now I'm super scared about it going to be a Q block. So Goat's Pirate now in the dive into ice at Onrak. Checking the spike tile chest. That's interesting. I don't know that I would have. But, it's one of those things where I'd be more inclined to do it if I was bringing a black belt. The long hallway walk of shame for Budgemano's screen. Into the Mars split.
Alright, we're going to see if the nightmares are true, that Cube is going to be required, or if Carrie is just hanging out by her lonesome. And there's
That's
the cube on the
block.
top.
At 8 floors down. This is horrible. Now, be kind, Seed. Be kind to poor Budgemano.
Danny is over there wriggling her fingers together like some sort of evil cartoon character seeing this.
So, I did say that Danny Seeds are the long con. Okay, we get C right, second floor. So the floor on the way to mermaids. It's still progressible.
Because Elfland Castle is the other thing we haven't seen yet. So I think we have Elfland Castle at one of these ends, and we have Carrie at the other one.
And we have to sit through the Arsahag Wizsahag pack before we can find out. Duskplume just checked Titan's Trove. I don't think there was anything of note in there, but, you know, it's a 4-chest check.
Velik getting a Dead Pulse doubloon from...
It's the
that. Oh, we got it. Danny, you're nice after all.
Woo!
I was commenting that Velik killed Sarias. The best enemy to kill.
There is a house rule I hear about sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I ignore my own house rule, but I generally have to kill Sarias if I find them. And we found a double fighter tile hanging out by the incentive.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the caster curse question. How many runners are going to follow the cube block? They'll have the cube, they'll keep going, and how many floors do you think are after it?
My mental track is showing that I don't think I saw any floors that were missing besides one of the volcano floors. So I think from Q block it goes to a volcano floor and then it goes directly into Elf Cave. Or Elf Cave. Elf Castle.
It's Elf Cave, it's after the marsh split.
Why would elves build a cave in a marsh split?
It's a good question.
This does not make sense.
Looks like the herb was in Carrie's incentive chest.
So that herb is going to turn into either the Mesmune or the ribbon, and I think the other thing we haven't seen yet is turning in the slab. So yep. I think that's going to be the other one.
Actually, Velik was just over there.
Well, this is what I get for not paying correct attention. Let's
go look. Right?
Let's go look at what Logan is telling him. Wout, our amazing tracker this evening.
We do have a fabulous joint tracking endeavor along with the RPG Limit Break crew, Darkmoon EX, the tracker over there, sharing notes with Wout, our tracker. We thank them both for pressing buttons, keeping notes, keeping us honest, because, you know, we're bad at this. Man, I looked away to look at the notes, and Goats Pirate just left from Lefane.
We're so bad at this.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it like that, but I'm saying it like that.
I also missed, I believe Bajamano was fighting Carrie at that point. I'm assuming that he won because he is now on to fighting Kraken.
Okay, Lefane was a ribbon. Thank you, Wout. That means that the elf has the elf has the masa, and oof.
No deal.
No. Not so great.
And Goats Pirate finding the rod lock, but does not have the rod. That's the biggest fear ever.
Yeah, that is the part where the screaming starts. Bajamano now up to 3 orbs lit, heading straight down to Tia. And what I'm thinking as I look at Bajamano's levels is I would be taking some encounters on the bridge. I
I got a
would
Vorpal
sit.
+5 and a pocket full of dreams, feeling fine.
I'd really like that 5th swing on the Vorpal, which is going to take many more levels than Budgemano currently has.
I found out, like, I used to try to go for those swings, like, oh, just one more swing, it'll only take, 8 more levels or whatever. And I found that it just didn't increase my damage enough for me to care, especially since I have fast.
So that's fair, but I mean, there's all the side benefits of having extra levels, like living. I like living.
Overrated. A crutch.
Hit points are a crutch. I agree, but
I would like one of those life casters to have 400 health to be able to survive a natural nuke. I would like that.
Yes, that is exactly my point. Budgemano, however, is in go mode, has all the orbs lit. Just, gonna check in, get some spells quick.
Like casually at 53.5 minutes in, oh yeah, I've got everything done.
Mm-hmm. Everything that matters. I've got a Vorpal +5 and enough money for all these gold +5s. I'm gonna pick up spells that actually matter. So I hope that Budgemano stops and Provoca gets that Cure 4, because that would be very nice for the night.
Did we? Gosh, we missed bubbles. I'm too busy paying attention and reading notes.
I'm criminally bad at this tonight.
There's a lot going on.
It's true. We have a Warmech on Duskplume. I didn't miss that. All hail the robot chicken.
Well, we're 1 for 3, so if this were baseball, we'd be pretty good. Velik going to show us what we think we already know, going top marsh, as this Warmech is doing things.
It's hard to tell because, we can't see the hit points on the 3rd and 4th slots. And that's not an issue with the restream, that's an issue with the capture area on Duskplume's stream. So, it's something that we noted pretty much just before the race started, but because of the 10-minute delay, we didn't have a chance to actually tell Duskplume. That Warmech goes down and gives some nice levels. Budgemano's stream freezing up as he walks into Provoca.
Velik finding that, yes, after the Q block was definitely Elflin Castle. Does not have the herb, though, so going bottom. Going to find Carrie.
And the herb, if Velik is checking the chest. I don't know that I would in that position, though, right? Like, what is my gain for going and turning that in? I know that the gain is Amasa, but if I have a Vorpal +5, I don't care.
I would turn it in to get a sense of completion. Closure, if you will.
Velik is following exactly my thoughts here, which is heck that chest.
Nah, I'm good. I can't stress enough how close this race still is, even though Budgemano is in Temple of Fiends. Velik is just found Carrie, is literally 2 minutes away from killing 2 more Fiends. On Duskplume on the bottom, they are taking on Tiamat for their second orb. And Ghost Pirate is right there, just about to put the rest of the pieces together.
Yeah, and we'll see what sort of adversity Topher brings for our runners here. The Temple of Fiends Revisited can do temple things, and so far not so bad. But we are talking about a level 22 party, which is usually enough in a fighter comp. But again, ambushing nukes, we don't know if they exist, and that could be very scary.
And yep, we're right. Velik not wasting any time. Bridge of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Duskplume also not wasting any time, going to take out Kraken.
Now, the downside is Duskplume still needs to find the rod in order to get to Carrie. That's a big thing right there.
As well as the chime, which is the shop item. So
I'm not super concerned about the chime then, like, because it's a shop item. Velik also fighting our robot overlord. Hearts and minds with that.
That Vorpal +5 putting in a lot of work. 2 hits for 81 damage. Actually, I don't know. I think Velik has the Vorpal. Lich 2 going down, no problems. We are 4 fiends away, or 3 fiends away from the chaos fight of our lives.
Budgemano taking some time to consider options against these Agamas and deciding to just get on out of there. Velik onto Tia 1.
Oh, I like the wall casts on the red mage. You don't want your Tempercaster going down. Carrie whipping out nuclear, taking out the black mage on Budgemano's screen.
Yeah, that's pretty much expected behavior for a minus vitality black mage. But Carry 2 goes down. We have life 2. It's funny how sparse the spell list is on Budgemano's white mage. 5th level spells, 6th levels, who cares?
You know what? There's a minimalism that I can appreciate.
I mean, it's got the spells that matter. All 4 of them. I mean, the only thing that's really missing is Ruse, which was also 2nd level and therefore takes up critical cure forecasts.
We're going to see if this Kraken 2 is going to be a mean old fish monster or not.
Pillow hands. Pillow hands. It's not going to have pillow hands.
Well, we move around. We put the Black Mage up front. Great turn order. And only 494 damage to that Black Mage, but still getting punched to bejesus in the back.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
Let's get some of them white shirts out, shall we? See if the red mage survives. But Kraken has stun touch, but still goes down after the first hit of the Vorpal +5 because of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, that was about as good as you hope for. It didn't back row the white mage. So Kraken was kind and had his target assist turned off. Velik, meanwhile, taking out Kraken 1, lighting the final orb here.
Oh, Tiamat getting stopped.
Third party stop. Oh no. Okay, so 2 of them are back up. 1 of them is the red mage who can cast Cure 4.
We don't have time to Cure 4. We got nukes.
Yeah, but the Cure 4 removes the stun.
Well, all the stuns are gone. Ice 2. Well, nuke infused with Cure 4. But we're back on track. Let's beat down this air creature as Velik enters Temple of Fiends around the 1 hour, 1 minute mark. That red mage taking it to the jaw.
EO2 is terminated, and the white mage is still alive to life 2.
This is a terrifying Topher. Things are punching real hard.
Told you, it's the long con, right?
Besides the 1 nuclear, I haven't seen bad spells out of any of the fiends, and that's what I'm worried about.
Yes.
Then again,
so
I literally worry about everything, apparently.
So we have not seen Cure 4. We have not seen any of the nukes. We have not seen any of the nuclear. Well, we've seen one nuclear. We haven't seen Swirl or any of that other garbage. We got a defense. We got a fast. We got a temper. We have a white shirt. So that knight is looking pretty decent. There's a Cure 4.
For this first turn has gone pretty well.
Yeah. Zap, not good.
Oh no!
Zap takes out the win condition. We are in reset territory from where I'm sitting. And that is very rough.
At this point, you got to just zap and hope for the best, because you're not dealing 1,500 damage with nuke.
And you know, that's the thing to keep in mind, is that the scaling on these bosses, the hit points are minimum 90%. So, you know, we're looking at 1,800 minimum on this chaos, up to 3,000, because we've got a 150% cap. Yep, that was the right decision once the Black Mage went down. That zap is very scary, and I don't think Budgemano has a single ribbon. Meanwhile, Velik on to carry 2. Well, Budgemano could go get wall. That is an option that exists. Now, the great question, because there's so many things that go on in an entrance and floor shuffle, is, do you remember that wall exists? And if you do you remember where? And are you willing to take the time if you don't remember?
The answer is yes, yes, and also yes.
I mean, if you took notes, but that's not a note that I typically take.
You gotta know where wall is. That is something, if you do not do, you should incorporate it in all the time, because in this, like, we haven't found ribbons. We found one ribbon, and that was in the slab turn-in. So if you didn't do that,
there's also one in Sky 1, apparently. Yeah, wall was level 6, so it's at Crescent Lake. It's slot 1. That's, you know, the one nice thing when we think about using wall here instead of ribbons is that we know that Cure 4 is in the list before the zap. You get at least a turn.
if you're going to take a white mage in any of these kind of seeds, their wall is one of those spells that you have to pick up, specifically because that's your advantage. By having the white mage, you have X amount of spells that nobody else can learn. So if somebody else didn't bring white mage, you lean into that for your advantage. But we have Kraken 2 fight going on with Velik, the red mage, taking it on the chin.
Velik has a lot more levels than Budgemano as well. I mean, just hit points. that knight has 800? Like 200. Mm-hmm.
Good God.
Both the red wizard and the white wizard can live through a nuke. That's healthy levels. Very healthy.
We see Wall coming out. The black mage gets punched in the face.
Yeah, he deserved it.
I don't know if we got fast off. We did not, so the red mage is going to try. And Stop comes out, only taking out the red mage. Now, Velik was singing that Xcal +3.
I would definitely hope that gets switched over to a Vorpal +5. We see a ribbon getting moved. That's good news.
Amazing.
That is one of the most important decisions you can make as you're going into the Chaos fight, is remembering if you're doing any of that equipment jiggling, the ribbon goes on your win condition. Your white mage has become optional at this point. So we see a wall cast coming out right away onto the red mage. Does that Chaos have poison touch?
Yes, but punched the Black Mage, and the Black Mage still lived. White Mage takes about 3/4 of her health. Tornado rolls out, so we're on the skill list, but that knight, still 500 plus health, has fast and 2 tempers, did 791 damage. I think we're 1 turn away from ending this. Oh, and Cure 4 comes out! Oh no! 1,174 damage from that Excal plus 3. More tempers rolling out. We're at 2,000 damage put on Chaos, not enough, so this is a chunky boy. And the Zap comes out, takes out the 2 mages.
It's okay. We have a knight that just killed Chaos. GG Velik. 108
nice.
And change. 108.16 is the official racetime.gg time. GG Velik.
Let's see if we can get Velik in here. That is the first place on stream. It is second place overall. We had Papadux coming in at 106.18. Velik coming in at 108.16. That's really difficult to say. 106.18, and Velik coming in at 108.16.
1 minute 58 seconds apart. We'll just say it that way.
Too many numbers.
And we are joined in the booth by Velik. First place on stream, second place overall. GG Velik.
Hey, thank you very much.
So-
Super GG.
So, give us your overall thoughts on this seed. What did you like? What did you not like? And what threw you for a loop?
Well, you know, I wouldn't say anything necessarily threw me for a loop other than my own forgetfulness, as I'm sure you saw what I did in Waterfall, where I forgot to use a house and ended up with no exit or warp charges and couldn't back out of pretty deep down where I needed to get out. And
It was definitely a womp womp.
Yeah, that was definitely a big time loss. But, you know, outside of that, I think the seed went pretty well overall. I mean, sure, I basically ended up doing everything in this seed. The only thing I didn't get was the Masa, which I knew exactly where it was at there at the end and decided against it since I had that Excal plus 3. And I mean, you know, it always kind of hurts when you can't really do any good skips of not having to get items or anything. And like with Entrance 4 Shuffle, some of the practice seeds I did, you know, some big time saves by not having to go everywhere, but did not get that luxury this time.
So, from our position in the booth, we were terrified about the cube block because we saw, while you had the cube, several other runners who got to Marsh Split did not. And we're like, is Carrie behind that? And then we finally saw Carrie on the other side of the split, and it was a great relief. How'd you feel about that?
You know, it felt it was a little painful because I went back specifically to get the cube before I even went down there to the split. And then, I mean, I did find the cube side first, but then on the other side, of course, was Elfland for the herb turn-in, which was then to the south where Carrie was. So it ended up not being in my favor to do that. But, you know, it's one of those decisions you have to make where it's like, you know, do I risk it and hope that out of the locations left that I get lucky and Carrie just pops up and I get to skip some places where, like, the cube block, for example. But, you know, I decided to play it safe, and you know, it didn't necessarily have to be done, but I guess I'm still glad I did it. You know, since it is RNG, you never know, and I being a duckling, I'm still a little risk averse, I would say, so I like to play it safe. I don't know if any of the other runners were doing that as well.
Well, while this is going on, Ghost Pirate has found Carrie finally, so at the same time, Dust Plume, they have found Carrie, which is going to be their 4th orb. Ghost Pirate has 2 orbs lit, and Budgemano has wiped out of Temple of Fiends for the 2nd time, is back at Lich 2.
Ghost Pirate looks to be heading over to pick up that Masa. So, you know, hopefully took the extra steps to light the orb. I did not catch if he had done those extra steps before leaving, but yeah, it's not just killing Carrie. You got to walk those extra steps over to where the orb is in order to get that lit up and out the door. Hopefully there is not a regretted second dive. Head Pulse, what questions do you have for Velik?
I gotta pull up some of my notes here. Hold on 1 minute. I had notes on all the runners how they did in the previous races, but for some reason I can't pull it up. So, how does it feel coming in second place in the third race, and how do you think you're progressing overall in this Duck Derby?
You know, I think I'm doing extremely well. I mean, I didn't start playing the randomizer. I've been playing for like 2 months now, and to be placing second in one of these races, I'm blown away that I was able to do that. And I'm so excited. I mean, there's so many good racers here. A lot of people that I've done races against, and just alongside with like Iron Goal or community races, and you know, to be sitting here next to the likes of them is just it's amazing. And I'm so happy for the opportunity.
You certainly put on a great performance here, and I'm looking forward to, you know, the future races that you have, because, you know, here's the thing is we're commentating on this. Budgemano had been kind of up front, but you had so many more levels that you just breezed through Topher. And that can be kind of a tricky thing. Like, you talked about feeling a bit conservative, a bit risk averse. But it paid off here. And that's a tricky thing to manage, because now the big question, and it's one I struggle with too, as somebody who's been playing the randomizer for about 8 months, is how low can you go? What is it that you can get away with? And so, you know, I look forward to seeing your progress in future races and seeing, you know, that journey for you.
Yeah, I certainly think as I get more experience and maybe start taking bigger risks, I'll you know, start even getting closer to you two. So specifically, I mean, Dead Pulse, for example, you know, I raced the Duckling Weekly and saw that you beat me by like 15 minutes, and so I went back and watched your entire playthrough for this week and was just taking notes left and right about all these little things that I can do better. And you know, I hope I replicated some of those today to really help improve my time. But you know, one of these days maybe I'll be coming for you guys.
Oh, we eagerly await. I did like how I made comments that you did not forget to move your ribbon. You cast wall preemptively before some of the fiend fights. Like, just all of these little things to just make sure that your Topher was safe, and I just loved it.
Yeah, those are definitely the things that I've just learned over time, just because taking a Topher wipe feels so bad, if not 2 or 3, and these are things I've definitely done before in practice seeds, and just some of the biggest time saves are grab wall, cast it, and you're safe now. You know, losing a life caster on Kraken 2 is never good, but if you just had wall and you could make it through easily, yeah, you know, GG right there. So lots of these little things, and there's still so many little things I gotta learn. So I'm excited for the future too, because I'm absolutely in love with this game and the community and everyone, and I'm just so excited for, you know, what's to come.
Well, all right, I finally pulled up my notes. So it looks like last week you did take 6th place, which is really impressive. So this puts you at 60 points overall, and that's pushing top 10 for the Derby. It doesn't look like you even raced in the first one.
Yeah, sadly I had to miss the first race. Had other prior commitments, so didn't get that one. And you know, right now I came into the Duck Derby thinking, hey, you know, we'll race, it'll be kind of fun. But now I'm kind of thinking, man, if I could have raced the first one, I might be vying for one of the top positions. But you know, that's all right. I'm still only 2 months in, so I can't complain too much. This has been such a great opportunity.
And Budgemano wiping one more time for a 3rd time. It feels so terrible, but this is kind of what we were talking about with the levels. So Budgemano is not as high a level. Those characters don't have 400 health on the Black Mage or the White Mage, and the Red Mage definitely don't. But he does have a Vorpal +5, and I think just getting stopped by Tiamat 2, literally stopped.
Yeah, I think that's what had taken him out in this last dive.
As we're quick. Oh, did Ghost Pirate also wipe out of Temple of Fiends, it looks like?
Goats Pirate was just finishing up getting his final orb.
Oh, okay. I was confused, but yeah, now we got everyone in Temple of Fiends. I'm going to do a quick plug. Today is the last day to sign up for the co-op tournament that's going to be starting in about a week from now. So on Final Fantasy Randomizer, go find yourself a partner. Get in some co-op action. One of the most fun I've ever had was having my tag team partner Fryteeth doing the Double Dragon weekly tournament. And I highly suggest it. Make a new friend, play the game in the next tournament, and have some fun.
And it is certainly a great learning opportunity as you get to learn another runner's style a lot more intimately than you might just from checking out their VODs or seeing their performance in one of the races here.
And this is also like something that hits close to home, because if before my time pairing with Fryteeth, my running style was a little more erratic, and just talking with Fryteeth and going over strategy, he really kind of tempered me, so I'm not so frazzled, I think is going to be the right word. I'm more calm, collected, more like him, and I think that made me a better racer.
He tempered you so that you could be fast, and it really locked you on to the goal.
Oh, the puns are killing me. So we have Budgemano getting nucleared by Carrie, but just nothing can seem to go right.
The
Dust Plume taking on Tiamat 2.
Budgemano's White Wizard is still alive. Something is going okay.
And we have a chaos fight coming up.
Budgemano's White Mage is no longer alive. Something is not going okay. There was a Lit 2 that just came out. But we have Life 2.
We have Life 2, perfect. Let's see if Dust Plume can be the second on screen to finish. We're seeing some fast, we're seeing some temper. 3 hits, 201, not great. But Chaos deciding to punch. Yeah, that was with the Vorpal, but I don't think we had fast off yet.
Right.
We're also going to fast up the Black Belt. Chaos showing Cure 4, which means we know some of those skills are coming out. Black Belt, 11 hits, just shy of 300 damage. White Shirt giving the second stack of Invis. 7 hits, 774. We know that we are about a third of the way there now. That White Mage doing Fade, 82. That's a low roll. Nuke, 102. Another low roll. Tornado coming out, not doing much damage to the party, but that Vorpal hit, 7 hits, 1,047, and that is enough for second place on screen. Let's get some GGs in chat for Dust Plume. They did a very lovely job taking on that Chaos.
Dust Plume's official time, 1 hour, 20 minutes, 3 seconds for 9th place overall, but second on stream.
So, Velik, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time before we get to Dust Plume. How did you prepare for this week in the Duck Derby? Did you do a couple of practice rounds? Like, what was your training regimen?
Yeah, so my training regimen was definitely practice rounds. I think I did about 3 or 4 of them. Also, just watching some past vids, like yours specifically. I think one of the major things that helped was I was unable to make the community race on Thursday, this last Thursday. But I went ahead and raced that same exact seed just to see how I would stack up against the other players, and then watch back to see, where some of the other decisions they made, and just all these little things kind of came together to mold my run. Because the first time I tried entrance floor shuffle was really bad, to be frank. And you start to learn all these little things that really optimize one of these runs, like saving at a split where you can instantly reset back to it and go to a second location if the first one was a dud, little things like that, or like checking Coneria Castle immediately to see what you're working with, because sometimes it's like dwarves and there's a chest full of gold right there in front of you. It's all these little things that just started to make the run faster, and so it really culminated today. I think I brought a lot of it together. Certainly still made my mistakes. I'm still a duckling, so some of them were very apparent.
Listen, trust me, you can use the duckling excuse for at least another year. I have that, so.
But yeah, no, it's mostly just a lot of that stuff, and I just keep playing is the big thing, And I won't lie, I think part of it might be a little bit of luck too. I don't think I had too many big resets or backtracks in this seed, which certainly help your time. And so sometimes you just, gotta take a little bit of luck when you're dealing with a randomizer.
All right, we're waiting for Dust Plume to see if they are going to be joining us. We are going to have dueling chaos fights. Budgemano going 1-on-1 against Chaos using the defense sword, getting punched for 71. Second stack of defense coming out. The punch missed, and Tornado skill. So we haven't seen Cure 4 yet, but we only did 108 damage with that sword. This is not going well. Blaze comes out. We're down to 258 health.
Ooh, that is a gutsy decision to go for another power bonk instead of that Cure 4.
You only have one left, so you got to make the most of it. And we're at full health. Maybe things are starting to turn out. 427 damage, not bad. We take a look over at Ghost Pirate. We're doing some ruse, some defensive strategies. Getting that white shirt out. Another hit up top, Budgemano, 655. We're about halfway there. Tornado and Blaze, it looks like we cycled through that skill list. Oh, 542 damage, and we finally got Chaos down. What a run. Let's get some GGs for Budgemano. And Saracen can tell you the official time.
Budgemano's official time, 1 hour, 23 minutes, 23 seconds for 12th place overall tonight. Third on stream. GG's for Budgemano here. I gotta say, I was very nervous about Man Mode Chaos.
And we have another Chaos going on at the same time. We prepared pretty well. Ghost Pirate looks like we're going to be able to finish this off the next round or so. 753, and there it is, Providence. We have Ghost Pirate finishing 13th overall in official Racetown time.gg, 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 10 seconds. Let's get some GGs in chat and invite all of our runners into the booth with us.
GG's to all of our runners. This was an interesting one.
This was a lot of excitement, so much excitement. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep tonight after watching this race.
I mean, I got a couple hours before I usually go to sleep, and we're in the same time zone. I think I'll find something to get the edge off.
I don't know. I've been drinking, Diet Pepsi all night, so I don't think I'll be able to get to bed. So as we're getting the other runners into the booth, another question for Velik, an extension of the last one. How are you planning to prepare for next week, the final round of the Duck Derby?
So this one is actually not too bad because I believe the final round of the Duck Derby is based on the Spring Tournament pod flag set, and luckily for me, when I first started, Spring Tournament was just getting into full swing, and that's actually the flag set I've probably done the most. But of course, now that I've said that live on air, I'm probably not going to do that great next week now because I've sort of jinxed myself. But I mean, I'll still definitely do a couple practice seeds, maybe see if I can get like in the community races, or if other ones pop up, will be the main things. But yeah, there's plenty of content out there to watch too, since it is based on the Spring Tournament pods. So probably be watching stuff back as well for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The flags for Duck Derby Week 4 are not for the faint of heart. They are the most challenging flags that we've ever had for a Duck Derby.
Oh yeah, that sounds scary. I'll definitely have to keep that in the back of my mind when I'm doing practices to expect harder things.
So one thing that I would just throw out as a caution, and this is the voice of experience talking as somebody who was in the Spring Tournament, the pods are a little bit tricky to think about from playbacks of the actual races, because that 1v1 mindset is very different. You can play head games with a single opponent, but when you're in a group race, you just got to race your race, right? So, keep that in mind as a thing, because, I mean, for example, I had at least one match of 4 forced, and 4 forced is not something you're going to see in the Duck Derby, where you have all your light warriors chosen for you by the game. That might have been in the round of 64, but I had fighter, black belt, and no magic at all. That's not a thing. Like, it's not going to happen here. So, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's definitely some good advice. I think there definitely is that mentality difference between like a one-on-one race and the giant group like this. Because I've done like some Iron Goal races one-on-one, and that's it does feel a bit different. You're even more risk adverse, or at least I am, than I would be normally. Because in a big race like this, you got to take big risks if you want to end near the top, as opposed to just playing it safe so that you have a better chance of coming in. So, but still, yeah, I believe it's 2 forced for the flag set for week 4, which means I won't have total choice, but I certainly won't be locked out of Magic because that just sounds rough.
It was
Cool.
highly entertaining at the time.
It looks like we have Duskplume joining us. GG's.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So tell us what you thought about this seed, your choices, anything you thought you did good, bad.
I thought I did pretty well overall. There were a couple of instances there where I felt like I kind of lost my way, like after going to Mirage and seeing that Rod was needed, and I had to consult my notes really quick. I was like, oh wait, what have I not done yet? And I kind of memory hold the ordeals there for me once I had to go back there and get that. But after that, everything seemed pretty good.
Well, perfect. So this was good enough for a 9th place finish, which is amazing. Your time was very good on this one. For your other races, looks like week 1 you were 14th, week 2 you were 7th. So you have been progressing very well. How did you prepare for this week specifically, and how do you plan on preparing for next week?
This week I did 3 or 4 practice runs throughout the week, Monday through Saturday. I also did one of similar run with a bunch of other community members that was a lot more difficult than this one, and I actually felt that helped me quite a bit because getting a taste of everything being shuffled and bosses being harder and then everything that came with that flag set coming back to this was like, oh, this really isn't so bad. So that turned out pretty well. I felt like my times all week were pretty good. I had another really good race with a couple of other Duckling Derby runners earlier in the week. We all finished within like 20 seconds of each other. That was pretty fun. As far as next week goes, same thing I've been doing this last 3 weeks. Just practice 3 or 4 times throughout the week, get a good idea for how flag set goes. Come into Sunday's run, just do what I've been doing. Try not to be nervous, try not to mess up too much. I'm not going to be perfect, but, do the best I can.
So one thing I wanted to ask you about is of the runners we had on stream here today, you were the only one who didn't go Fighter Rainbow. Tell us about that black belt in the mix there.
That was something that I was actually kind of regretting for the time that I did it, and I was kind of thinking the last 5 minutes before we started up, like, maybe I shouldn't do this. And I don't really know how much it helped me, actually, in the end. I really liked the bonuses from it, and I liked the level 1 Black Magic, and I was hoping I'd get something good, and I felt like Zap on the Black Belt would help me through some early game encounters and be able to get me through some, perhaps, unrunnables where there were a lot of enemies to deal with. And Temper ended up helping me too, so it wasn't as much of a drain as I thought it was going to be. If I had to do it again, probably wouldn't, but it worked out.
So I will say I didn't get to see every moment of the action on your screen, but it looks like it panned out. And we had talked earlier on, Dead Pulse and I, about how that's really an excellent flex comp. Were you thinking about trying to find a spike tile to grind on, or were you committed to the walking grind and see what happens?
I'll admit that I'm not really great at determining what is the best tile for me to go to and when I should just like hit a tile if I have a black belt and just stick there until 32 or 42 or whatever. Walking grind is what I typically stick with right now, and I feel like just in the manner of exploring the way entrance shuffle works, you're going to get some encounters early on that if you can manage to get through them, it's going to be a lot of experience because you're really not supposed to be there at the level you are, but you might have the magic or something to be able to get through it. So I feel like a walking grind is fine for this flag set, and I think it worked pretty well for me. But that is something that I do want to work work on is figuring out when the best time is for me to find a spike tile, take that spike tile, get a grind on, and go from there.
I gotcha. So one of the things that I was particularly concerned about for everybody here, and you both handled it quite well. Honestly, everybody did. Was that early floater? How did you feel about the number of locations that were just suddenly open to you once you hit Northwest Castle?
I took a moment to myself and I said, okay, I'm going to map this out. I'm going to go in a sort of pattern. I'm going to go in like a clockwise pattern. I'm going to check out everything by Melmond, Sarda, Titan. I didn't actually check Earth at first, but that didn't end up hurting me too much. And then I headed up towards Cardia, then on Rack and Waterfall, and then made my way east from there. So it was just sort of like having to make a decision in the moment of, this is the path I'm going to go. If I get anything on the way, just make sure to note that. And if I have to go back, I have to go back and turn in, say, at Elf Castle or Matoya or wherever it might be. Just keep that in mind, but try not to panic. Try not to have too many thoughts of like, oh, I have so many places to go. Just like pick out a route and stick to that as best I can.
Yeah, I have to say I did something pretty similar. I like to sort of piece by piece kind of clear out the map, and I did the same thing after I got that floater. Immediately went to the Earth continent, Melman continent, just because like I had a practice seed where I skipped Marsh and forgot about it, and then wasted 5 minutes running around trying to figure out which place I forgot to go to. and so once I had that knowledge under my belt, you know, that it becomes a very structured. You take out these entrances and you write down anything you have to go back to exactly. And I pretty much did the same exact thing to not miss anything.
Yeah, I did have that Marsh check pretty much immediately after getting airship, and I saw that Tia was there, and I was like, oh, I'm level 8. I've got a black mage that's got Brack. Let's give it a shot. And it didn't work out. But I don't know, maybe just some sort of funny coincidence. I have enough levels to defeat them normally, and I get both Tia and Kraken with Brack, so whatever.
Yeah, I definitely decided not to play that riskily. I saw Tia and immediately bounced out and left, and I did the same thing with Kraken immediately as well.
So it looks like we're joined in the booth now by Butchmano. GG's. You had some tough breaks there in Temple of Fiends. Tell me what you were thinking.
I was just trying to be aggressive. I knew I had to get in kind of as fast as I could to try and get on top. Similar thing happened in week 1 to me, where I went in really early, had one of the top times, potentially wiped to chaos, and then bounced against him over and over and over and over. Went a little better this time, but that zap was nasty. If I could have had a ribbon, that would have helped a lot, but never found one. So it happens. Happy with the race though.
Oh yeah, you were flying through most of that. You were actually the first runner on stream to get the floater, and I think that was at a ridiculous time of like 8 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, I saw that it was Northwest Castle, right? And I got that, made a beeline to pick up the airship, and then basically the rest of the race was just proximity plays all the way through. Kind of got lucky that some of the places I bounced out early I never had to go back to. So I missed a lot of turn-ins, which never found the ribbon. That could have helped if I would have found that, but yeah, I was just going speed, trying to get there as fast as I could, and it almost worked.
Yeah, well, still, I mean, pulling a 12th place is no small matter. These flag sets are meant to challenge you, and consistently coming out in the top half is a great achievement.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. I've been happy with my times every time. I feel like I've run good races, haven't made too many mistakes, just had some bad breaks, and sort of right in that bottom of the top half, I think, is where I'm sitting right now. So I'm happy with that for my first derby.
How'd you feel about that Q block?
I was really scared that it was going to be, that was deep, and I did not want to have to march all the way back. But luckily, I didn't have to go back to that one. And that's actually after I found the Q block. I went through my notes and circled all the things I had missed earlier on the southern continent of, oh no, I have to go back here and search these and these and these, and I just got lucky. I got go mode early enough. Just had to find Carrie at a certain point. Once I got her, I knew it was, smooth sailing.
Yeah, and from the broadcast booth side of things, we were talking about the possibility of Q Block being the floor prior to carry, and then also, oh wait, Marsh Split hasn't been found yet. What if this is just really kind and gentle? But then Danny rolled this, so it was all of the thoughts and feels as everybody was doing the exploration, and you were the first one to get to the Marsh Split. And we were looking and seeing no cube on your tracker and going, oh no. And then it turned out that it was just the Masa behind that, so.
Okay. Yeah, the Vorpal was working well for me. I had the defense sword, so I was happy with gear except for the ribbon, which, turned out to be the downfall. But yeah, I think I made some risky plays and skipping places, not going back. But yeah, it worked out to get to Topher pretty quick at least.
How'd you feel going man mode against Chaos on that last dive?
I mean, at that point, I was just, whatever, I'm going for it. I've bounced out so many times. Yeah, I went back, I was watching the end of the stream after I finished, and, it was a risky Cure 4 move there, but I knew I had to try and save it, because I only had the one cast, and, it worked out, so there was no zap that time, at least.
Yeah, definitely. It was a little tense. We were pulling for you, but man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this was my favorite race of the Duck Derby so far. Don't tell any of the other broadcasts that, but honestly, seriously, this was a great race, really close between everybody. I suggest that if you missed the beginning of it, go back and watch everything, because I was at the edge of my seat for most of this race. Unless Saracen, you have any more questions for our racers, we could probably start wrap up.
I think we're good for final thoughts.
Yeah, let's send it over to Velik. First place on stream, second place overall, with an amazing time, I might add. What kind of final thoughts or words of wisdom do you have for us?
Well, first I just want to say thank you to the race crew and SpeedGaming and everyone for all the racers for such a great race. It was a really great time. Closing thoughts would be practice, because that's all I did, and I think that was my secret sauce, was just working at it until I got better.
Over to Dustplume. Got my order mixed up. Dustplume, your final thoughts on what we got going on here?
Well, thanks everybody for the restream. Hope it was enjoyable for everybody that watched, and never doubt the Vorpal.
Team Vorpal sometimes.
Especially when it rolls +5. Goodness. And Budgemano, you want to wrap us out here?
Yeah, sure. Just, thanks to the race crew, as everybody else said. Thanks to SpeedGaming 3 for hosting us. Yeah, this was a fun race. Entrance floor shuffle, it's very different from, a lot of the other flavors. So, my second Valak with the practice. But, a lot of fun. Really enjoying the Derby.
All right.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Thank you specifically to SpeedGaming for hosting us. Wout, our behind-the-scenes tracker, always an amazing job and an amazing guy. Saracen, do you want to give us a little walkout?
Absolutely. So this has been Duckling Derby Week 3 Entrance and Floor Shuffle race. We have one more race in the Duckling Derby next week, 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll be getting channels out for that as soon as that's available. Look forward to seeing your shining faces there, and looking forward to seeing these ducks race there. With that, we'll have wrapped up the Duckling Derby. Dead Pulse will be passing on his vaunted title of Duckling Supreme to the winner of the overall scoring. And so, we hope that everybody's been having a great time with the Duck Derby, and if you've been watching and you haven't yet joined the community, check this game out. Come on over. Go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, click on the Discord link to join the Discord. We have a very welcoming community. I hope that this Duck Derby and the Duckling Weeklies that we've had prior to show off the randomizer, get people involved in the community, show that we're a welcoming group of people, and we would love to have you. Special thanks again to SpeedGaming for hosting. We can't put on a show without a stage. Thanks again, Wout, for tracking, Dead Pulse for being amazing co-commentator, and to all of our runners.
And with that, we wish you all a good night. Join us again next week for the finale of the Duckling Derby. Who is going to win? Look on the Discord to find out, and stick around. We'll see you all later.